I pull up, roll the window down it. I pull up, roll the window down it. Yeah, I pull up, roll the window down it.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel like chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. 'Cause the love you give, you can't That's why I spend my life with you.
Hi, hotties, kettles, tea stirs. You're here for hot tea. All commentary is alleged, and in my opinion, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not really sure how I missed the interview that Fat Titty Marcel did with Dustin Ross, but I never knew he did this interview. Well, I knew he was doing interviews and the whole cast were doing interviews with Dustin Ross, and I actually know exactly how I missed this interview. I had been so fed up with the entire cast and all of their lies and them giving nothing. I just knew none of their interviews would give anything, so I never tuned into any of the interviews that they did. And I guess y'all wasn't really watching too, because ain't none of y'all tell me about this. And I'm going to be real. I'm not the biggest Marcel fan because I don't like the way he treat his wife. And I also think he is the person that played a huge role in the demise of Mel and Letitia's friendship. I think he was very intimidated by what Mel could bring his wife. And those are just my opinions. And some of the things that he said in the interview with Dustin Ross actually leads me to believe I was spot on with that assessment of him. And we're going to talk about that over on live because I want to talk about this interview that he did with Dustin Ross as a whole, because I think there are some interesting things in this interview that we need to talk about. But today I want to specifically speak about the part of the interview that Mel's baby mama is so upset about, because that's the part that I missed. And when the trailer came out, he confronted Marcel about some things that he said within this interview. So I wanted to know, what is he so upset about? Because he clearly didn't say anything that was against him, or else I would know. Because truth be told, that's why we are so disgusted with majority of the cast, because they have literally aligned themselves with Martel, knowing everything that he has done. And on top of aligning themselves with Martel, they are also coming for the fan base that have been loudly calling his ass out. One of the issues that always bothered me about the men on this show is the fact that they have never truly stepped up and been vocal about what's okay and what's not okay. And granted, I'm not saying you could tell a man or another woman what to do, because they are adults. But as Black people and as community, we have to hold each other accountable. And when you are in close proximity to one person, or you claim to be friends or business partners, or you're on a cast together, in my opinion, you have grounds to hold your cast member, your friend, or whoever is in your close proximity accountable, because they are directly going to affect you, whether you know it or not, based on their actions. Whether indirectly or directly, they will affect you based on their actions. And if you are the type of person that allow people to do the things that Martel has done to his ex-wife, if you're the type of person that allow someone like that to be around you, then you have to understand how much of a liability he truly is to you. But again, a lot of us were so disgusted with the Scotts because it seemed like they were stroking Martel's ego and coddling him in a means to get back at Mel, because they didn't like the fact that Mel was being very vocal about what she believed that they were doing behind their wives' back with her ex-husband. So truth be told, that's where the big uproar and split came in amongst the fans, because it's one thing for the cast to not like people, etc. But once you start aligning yourself with the evil and wrongdoings Martel was doing to his ex-wife for no good reason, then you guys became the problem as well. And that's why so many people started to come for you all, because it seemed like nobody spoke up and nobody held Martel accountable and nobody was honest with him. But everybody was so angry with Mel. Martel even told Mel she needed to be accountable and nobody holds her accountable. in the same breath, we didn't see any of these people hold Martel accountable, and he's the person that actually created majority of the mayhem on the show. So it was always frustrating and infuriating to see them not hold him accountable, but have all of these things to say to Mel for reacting and trying to set boundaries when it comes to them coddling her ex-husband, who's clearly a dangerous person, and when it came to them being friends with him in general. And even just setting boundaries for herself when it comes to her ex-husband. For whatever reason, they took issue with her doing that when they should have been doing the same things. Because a lot of the things that I had been preaching over here on my channel is that Martel is a very dangerous man. And if he would do the things that he would do to his ex-wife, to her for no good reason, he would do worse to y'all. And nobody wanted to understand why we were so upset that they continued to align themselves with Martel, while in the same breath making it seem like Mel was such a nasty person. Just like last season, Letitia going out of her way to try to acknowledge the flat out lie. She know it's a lie that Martel was trying to convince people to believe that Mel was cheating on him before he ever cheated on her. We all know that is an absolute lie. Yet we heard Letitia repeat that last season. Why? Because she didn't like Mel. And instead of her moving with integrity, she moved off of her emotions and her jealousy. And we really don't respect that, because that's the point that we have all been trying to make. Yes, you don't have to like somebody, but once you start aligning yourself with people that are outright lying on that person, you again become the problem. And when you start coddling the person that is a very danger to that person, you become the problem. Because in this interview, Marcel is going to talk about how he lost respect for Martel, etc. But my thing is, why in our community it takes a person to do all that Martel did? He clearly showed signs of aggression and narcissism and being egotistical. So why did it have to come to this point to where he's like, well, you know, I kind of lost respect for him when he decided to put Revenge P out. And granted, that's what's up, because I respect that. That's the thing that we've really been looking for. In my opinion, Marcel only held Martel accountable. And this is what I mean by Martel being a dangerous person, because Black men need to be able to hold other Black men accountable. In this interview, I feel like Marcel was only holding his fellow Black man accountable, and yet Martel is upset about that. Martel is upset about that, and he's a liability. Anybody that you cannot hold accountable that's in your immediate circle is outright a liability to you, because as adults, as growing humans, as people that want to be better each and every day, you need to be around people that are going to tell you, hey, you know, you out here looking crazy. And you need to be surrounded around people that are going to respect the fact that you love them enough to point out flaws or things about them that may be steering them in the wrong direction. And the fact that Martel cannot take any direction, especially from other men around him, is a huge red flag. But again, my point is, why in our community does it take a man like Martel to do all of that for these men to come to their senses? When he did everything to his ex-wife, why couldn't you say, hey, you cheated on her for how many years and you had a baby on her? Nah, you're not the type of man I will even want to be around, because you don't have any discipline. Maybe because that's not something that's that serious to him, but we need to start ostracizing the men, and I would say the men's because Martel act like one of the men's, if you know what I mean. But we need to start ostracizing the men that will literally destroy their families because they're so undisciplined. Or even the fact, and I know that when Martel took Mel to court for full custody of the kids, I know Marcel spoke on that and basically let Martel know like he needs to stop, he's doing too much. But this is where, in my opinion, he should have drawn the line as a man if you really don't agree with that, or if you really don't rock with that. Because while y'all were sitting back trying to call us deplorable, I was screaming from the rooftops that Martel is dangerous, and y'all continuing to align yourselves with him is only going to make his behaviors worse because nobody is holding him accountable. Y'all were trying to make it seem like we were crazy. Yet everything that I have ever spoken about over here on my platform is literally playing out right now. And it's so fucking crazy to me, but comical. And I love that it's going on because it literally boosts my ego, because I know my intuition has never been wrong. And this literally validates that. I've always said Martel is not a good person and he's an evil person, but the people that are around him that are continuing to associate themselves with him are no better. They are actually making it worse because they need to be holding him accountable. And he's clearly not the type of person you can hold accountable, so they need to be ostracizing him. But again, nobody wanted to listen. Everybody wanted to get back at Mel. The mellometer so this, the mellometer so that. But nobody ever checked Martel, because nobody can't check Martel. Because again, we're about to watch this interview and you're going to see Marcel didn't say anything wrong. He said what needed to be said. But Martel got a mammy that coddles and stroke his ego. Them boy mom hoes are absolutely problematic as fuck. So a lot of them. And if you mad because you a boy mom hoe and you a problematic person, because some of y'all know what I'm talking about, because you're not contributing to being a boy mom. But Miss Marlene, Drinking Machine, Marlboro Marlene, is one of them boy mom hoes. And you can clearly tell Martel has never been held accountable. He's always been coddled. They've always stroke his ego. And this is absolutely becoming to be a problem. It's become a problem within his marriage, within his cast, within his friendships, within his business relationships. So y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what you think. We're going to be on live talking about this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit the post notification bell so y'all are up to date each and every time that I upload.
Just saw it straight up like, yo, we got to go talk to Martel. What's going on? What was it about this most recent situation regarding his arrest that kind of made you and your brother say, look, we got to go check in on him and just like help him to see, you know, what this looks like from our POV?
Well, you know what? And that honestly goes back to Martel talking about kind of me and female tendencies, because this is exactly how Martel's fighting. And Martel is fighting a female with recordings and tell-alls and accusations and trying to take her kids and revenge porn and things like that. And to me is that no matter how I see, this is my unbiased opinion, that, you know, Mel and I haven't had the best relationship in the past. But right is right and wrong is wrong. And there's, to me, there's nothing, well, I imagine there's something, but the lowest of the lows is taking your then wife in the most intimate moment that you can have, the most vulnerable and sharing moment that you could have, and her trusting and giving you that, you know, that tape or whatever. And then you kind of weaponize that. And like, you know, I can't think of something lower at that point right there. And you're never going to win. And even someone that thinks like that at that point right there, like, I lost respect. I lost respect at that point. And so now my thing is like, there's some things that people do that you can understand and you can cope with, but there's a level that people decide that they want to go to that I can't get down with that. I can't get down with that, because anybody that would do that in that moment, that means that anything I've ever had that I could ever use against you, I'll use in your most vulnerable state if you push me to that. And I got some people, me and my brother got in fights all the time. We don't hit in the face. You got to have a line. You got to have a line. And the line is nothing to do with them. The line is about who you are as a man. You know what I'm saying? And so my thing was with him, I think that I tried to tell him, and I tried to tell him over and over and over before when I wanted him to understand and get it. But at this point right now, life will teach you. Life will teach you. Life will teach you. Life will teach you that there actually is a place in society for people who want to send pornographic pictures of their ex-wives out. There's a place for those people. There's a place that you can actually sit down and think about those decisions.
What's that place?
there's time for you to think about that stuff. There's a reflection place. Right? There's a reflection place. And when you go to those places, it's a little think tank. It's a place that maybe I didn't get through to you. Maybe you need your thoughts in this little comfortable concrete place, and that kind of stuff figures it out, because you can't do that.
I pull up, roll the window down it. I pull up, roll the window down it. I pull up, roll the window down it.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel like chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. 'Cause the love you give, you can't
It's not in
That's why I'm mine. I spend my life